Thank you so much, Huey. And I would like to say welcome to our speaker tonight, who's going to be talking to us on Chromebooks and alternative, Bill James. Let's say you need a new notebook for gaming, keeping up with social media, and or doing some serious work. Up until a few years ago, conventional wisdom suggested that Windows or Macs were the best laptops. That's rapidly changing. Chromebooks has caught up so much that they are viable competitors for many buyers today. Tonight, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Bill James, who is ranked high in our mother organization, APCUG, as the Region 8 advisor. Let's hear about Chromebooks and alternative and give a big STUG welcome to Bill James. Bill?
I'm here. Thank you so much, Anne, for that wonderful introduction. And again, I would like to thank the officers and members for inviting me here. Um, Chromebooks have become kind of a passion of mine, and I would like to say I first got involved with Chromebooks when Huey and Ron Brown were giving their presentations or their weekly workshops on Chromebooks. And I just thought, well, I need to find out more about these devices. And so as a result, I actually went out and purchased a Chromebook and have been really delighted with the device and all its capabilities. And I know there is a renewed interest in Chromebooks due to the fact that some individuals are kind of getting fed up with Windows, Microsoft Windows, I should say, because of the difficulties of upgrading and updating and so forth. So a Chromebook might be a alternative. And so tonight I'd like to demonstrate some of the capabilities, particularly if you are a person that only surfs the web, writes occasional emails. I'm sorry, uh, gets emails and writes an occasional uh, document in Word or so forth. And I'm going to show you how a Chromebook is a viable alternative. So I'll share my screen and um, we'll start out with the PowerPoint presentation. And I'm using my Chromebook for this presentation, just to give you an idea of the capabilities. Is everyone able to see my screen?
Yes.
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 Yes, I can see.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, so our presentation this evening is Chromebooks, an alternative, and I subtitle it More Computing with Less Fuss. So, as I was introduced, I am a member of the APCUG Speakers Bureau, and it's a benefit of your group's membership in APCUG. And I am the VP of Operations for the Computer Club of Oklahoma City. I also serve as the Region 8 APCUG advisors. And you can reach me at bjames@apcug.org. Let's say you need a new notebook for gaming, keeping up with social media, and doing some serious work. Up until a few years ago, conventional wisdom suggested that Windows machines or Macs were the best laptops. And as Anne mentioned in my introduction, that's rapidly changing because Chromebooks have caught up so much that they are really viable competitors for many buyers. So if you're looking for an alternative to Microsoft Windows, you should really seriously take a look at a Chromebook. You'll find that they're fast, secure, easy to use, and updates are completed in a couple of minutes. Chrome releases full OS updates about every 6 weeks, with minor updates such as security fixes every 2 to 3 weeks. The average full Chrome OS update is over 400 megabytes, and minor updates are about 50 megabytes. So, in a nutshell, Chrome OS and Chrome are the future for the mainstream consumer, and that's my opinion. So, this presentation, we're going to cover what you want to check out in a Chromebook should it become an alternative to satisfy your computer needs. One of the things that you will need is your Google account, which is very similar to a Microsoft account or Apple ID, and it consists of a email address and password. And for Google, it's the Gmail address and password. An example of that is, in my case, mine is willjam@gmail.com, and then I have assigned the password. Now, if you are an Android user, if you have an Android phone, you were probably given a Gmail account. Uh, Likewise, if you have a Gmail account and you don't use a Android device, that Gmail uh, email address and passwords will suffice as your Google account. So you need to keep that in mind when you are ever asked to provide your Google account. What you should provide is the Gmail address and the password that you use. So let's get more down to the definitions of what actually a PC really is. So the abbreviation of PC is a generic form for personal computer, and it applies to any device that runs a computing operating system. Each platform has its advantages and disadvantages in size, weight, security, apps, performance, and battery life. If you're shopping Windows laptops, MacBooks, or Chromebooks, you will see how these devices are getting closer and closer to each other's strengths while reducing their weaknesses. And you might find that a Chromebook is a clear winner in all of these categories. So, what makes a Chromebook a PC? Well, think of a Chromebook as your one size fits all computers for internet dependent usage. Chromebooks are often referred to as cloudbooks, storing files on Google's virtual servers, which means that very little is stored locally on your PC. Chromebooks are optimized for PC users who depend on Google for anything and everything from email to editing documents to spreadsheets creation. They're engineered to utilize online web applications and cloud storage rather than programs and hard drive usage. Chromebooks are the lightweight answer for cloud and PC users. Unlike typical PCs, Chromebooks are a different breed of laptop computer. Instead of running Windows 10 or 11 or Mac OS, Google has engineered its own operating system called Chrome OS based on the Linux kernel. Major tech manufacturers like HP, Acer, Dell, and Lenovo offer their own versions of Chromebooks, effectively allowing brand loyal consumers to get in on the Chromebook wave. These laptops are a minimalist dream for PC users worldwide. As I said earlier, more computing without the fuss. So Chromebooks rely on Google Chrome. While you have OS specific features like File Manager, the App Launcher, Taskbar, and so on, most of your work and play resides within a Chromebook tab. For instance, this presentation that I'm running is really in a browser and it's on a tab within the Chrome operating system. What this translates is low overhead, enabling a super fast startup, a snappy performance on even the most low end hardware. Now, my Chromebook is a Samsung uh, product. It has an i5 processor. It has 256 gigs of storage, a lighted keyboard, a touch, a finger print recognition software, and plus it has a pen. It's rather on the high end of Chromebooks, but that is not a necessity. I purchased this more in hopes that it would be uh, one that would last me for a number of years. But even in its configuration, it's still more computing without the fuss. One of the core functions of a Chromebook is like all pure Android install, Chrome OS focuses on Google services like Gmail, YouTube, Maps, and Docs. You can install web based Chrome apps from the Chrome Web Store, Microsoft Office, and Android apps from the Google Play Store. Many require an internet connection while others can function offline. And I will kind of demonstrate this. The big question for many users is, do you have to be connected to the internet to use a Chromebook? And the answer is you do not. Certainly, you will for cloud based apps or remote desktop tricks, you will need a internet connection. But many applications, including Google Drive, Kindle, Gmail, Google Calendar, lets you store working versions of your files right on your Chromebook for offline use. Just about any Android apps available through the Google Play Store will work fine without an internet connection. This includes Instagram, Dropbox, and Evernote. If you want to watch movies or view your photos or listen to your favorite music on your Chromebook, you just download them to the machine storage onboard storage. You also can use offline ready apps to keep your Chromebook when it's not connected to the internet. And here are some examples. You can read and write email with the offline Gmail function. You can write a note or make a list with Google Keep. You can create and edit documents, slides, and spreadsheets with Google Drive, such as Docs, Sheets, and Slides. You can view and RSVP to events with the Google Calendar. You can view and edit photos saved with the built-in photo editor. You also can enjoy music or movies with the built-in media player, and you can play video content that's available offline using a Chrome browser extension. One of the things that you will first notice when you get your Chromebook is the Chromebook keyboard. Google has tweaked the keyboard of its Chromebooks in ways that emphasize how Chrome OS differs from Microsoft Windows and Apple Mac OS. So I'm going to give you a quick overview to explain what those differences are. While your Chromebook may differ slightly, this should help in providing a reference until you're used to your new keyboard or you remap the keys so that they fit your preferences. So instead of the usual number function keys, F1, F2, that you see across the standard PC keyboard, Google has substituted a row of various dedicated keys. And you have to keep in mind that these can differ somewhat depending on the age and model of your Chromebook. In fact, you'll probably not have all the keys that I've listed here, but here's a list of keys you may find on the top row of your Chromebook, from left to right, in order which they will appear with a short description for the less common keys. And as you see in the diagram or the graphic I have below, you'll see that it kind of resembles a functions of some tablets that you may have owned or you're currently using. So to begin with, from left to right, we have our escape key. And of course, this is our usual get out of trouble, or as I say, get out of jail key. The next key that you see, which will be an arrow, and it's labeled, it's the back button, and it goes back one page. The next key is next, and it goes forward one page. You'll find a little circle with an arrow, which is refresh a page. The next button is the full page, and it's a square with small out-facing arrows, and it toggles the current page to take up the full screen. The next button is Show Windows, and it's a square with two lines to the right, and it shows all the open windows on the screen. And if you have more than one virtual desktop, they will be shown on the top of the screen. And then you have the brightness, the brightness, the brightness, and the down and the brightness up, um, followed by the play and pause, mute, and lower volume. You also will have raise volume. You'll have a lock screen button, a quick way to go back to your lock screen. Also, between the tab and the shift keys on the left of the keyboard, where the caps locks usually reside, you may either have the launcher key or the search key, depending on your system. The former launches the Chrome OS app drawer, the latter brings up the search box. And I should have said not your system, but the model of your of the age laptop. And here's an image below, which will allow you to map those keys that I identified previously to function keys. So the image below shows the top row of keys on a typical Chromebook keyboard. It may not look like it, but those actually are functions keys hidden in that row. So the keys between the escape and the power lock key doubles as F1 through F10. And here is a picture of a Chromebook keyboard. As you see, the very top row I described earlier, beginning with the escape key, and of course, ending in this case with a power key. Now, on my laptop, that key actually functions as a fingerprint reader. Uh, in the later versions of the operating systems, they have actually are calling the button, or what formerly in most keyboards is the shift key, is the I forgot all of a sudden.
Cap lock. Cap lock.
Cap lock. Thank you. The cap lock button is now called the everything button. And so to describe the everything button, it's, of course, you may know that key as another name. And it is really the new name of the launcher or search. Um, button on a Chromebook. The new name for launcher was chosen and this is what I was able to glean from some other publications or some research. It was chosen to reflect users' feedback and to highlight that Chromebooks have a dedicated button on their keyboards that enable them to search through files, apps, Google, Google Drive, and the web and more. So you may still see it being referred to as the launcher, but the everything button is what the new label is, and the thought is it makes it simpler to explain that it's used to search your files, apps, Google Drive, etc. So to continue on Chromebooks, you'll find that few applications are actually installed on the hard drive. Instead, applications shown in your app launchers are links that open web applications in the Chrome web browser. You can view the applications on your computer in a couple different ways. By pressing the Everything button, opens the app launcher and places a cursor in the search bar. You can then scroll between your windows in the app launcher by using two fingers to swipe up or down on your touchpad. If you click the app launcher icon, which is identified as a circle, um, that is located. That's located um, on the bottom left of your desktop on your Chrome shelf, and I will show you that in just a second. Your Chromebook also comes with shortcuts for several applications already in place, and this will differ from Chromebook to Chromebook. And so, if you find an application not already existing on your Chromebook, you can find it through using the Chrome Web Store. So, Chromebooks are designed for use while connected to the internet and signed into your Google account. So, instead of installing traditional programs such as word processing and email clients, users add web apps that they get from the Chrome Web Store. Although some of these apps may require connection to the internet, some apps allow users, uh, such as Gmail, Google Calendar, the Google Keep, Google Drive, and other web based applications such as Microsoft Office and OneDrive. Multiple layer security architecture also eliminates the needs for antivirus software, and I'll talk about that later. One of the things that you want to be aware of, and this is just to get the nomenclature of a Chromebook or the infrastructure of how it is designed, is that first of all, as we said earlier, the Google Chrome uh, is your browser, and it allows you to view web pages and perform most tasks for you on your Chromebook. Now, one of the things that has occurred recently in future builds of the Chrome OS is that they're going to decouple the Google Chrome browser from the operating system. So, in future versions of Chrome OS, the Google Chrome will be a separate app, just as it is with um, normal PCs today. So that, but currently the Chrome browser and Chrome are locked together. But will be a future update that will decouple those two, and hopefully, I shouldn't say hopefully, but the intent, of course, is to improve the performance. Files. This is actually an app, and it really is equivalent to the file manager that you find in Windows. And it allows you to manage your files on your Chromebook your Google Drive account, and any external media you might have plugged in. And I will show that in my demo. Google Docs is a feature rich word processing program. It comes with the operating system, as well as Google Draw, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Forms, My Maps, the Web Store, and of course the Google Play Store, which now allows you to also run Android apps. This gives you access to hundreds, thousands of apps and games that you are familiar with on your phone. And as time goes on, those will be improved. You will find that when you use a Android app, it may be designed for the phone, so therefore the display will be the size of a phone. But in as Google is trying to expand this uh, product, they are allowing you to resize those applications in some cases where you can make them not quite full screen, but you can make them larger than they are on a phone size. Um, so as I said, one of the most exciting changes as Google has made to the Chrome OS platform, and that is the addition of the Android app support. So while Chrome OS can already run Chrome browser extensions, web apps, and Chrome apps, the addition of 1 million of Android apps has dramatically increased the platform's value. So most Chromebooks come with the Google Play Store out of the box, which allows you to quickly install most of your favorite Android apps. So if your Chromebook was introduced in or after 2017, it's guaranteed to run most Android apps. The overall functionality of Chromebooks are exponentially enhanced with this Android merge. And it's one of the most talked about perks that no other operating system can offer. It means that any Adobe or Microsoft apps created for Android are now available for installation on new Chromebooks. So if you're not sure if your Chromebook qualifies, Google has provided an extensive list that you can check. And Google has also given a compatibility list on by device. So it's a good idea to find your specific model as possible. And you probably want to look at that list if you just like to buy a refurbished or secondhand Chromebook that it meets certain specifications so you can enjoy the future updates. And as we were speaking of specifications, when you're looking at Chromebook, and they may seem weak compared to your Windows counterpart. And that's the reason is that Chromebooks really don't need to be super powerful. The Chrome OS was never intended to run desktop software, meaning software that has all uh, the old programs that we installed on our hard drive and we ran it from our hard drive. Um, uh, because Chromebooks are are cloud based. They run everything off the internet, off our server someplace. And so, in essence, a Chromebook might be considered more like a terminal that allows you to access a terminal somewhere to do your computing. But with that said, that your Chromebook always starts new and always stays new over time. because it is always constantly being updated. With the automatic updates in the background, you get the latest software without it even interrupting you. When you open the lid, the latest version of Chrome OS is opens up, and also when you access any of the web-based software that you're using, it's is the most current versions. Again, computing without the fuss. So now I would like to give you a live demo and take a look of what a current Chromebook looks like, and then we will entertain some questions and at any point. And feel free to, if you like, if you have a question, don't um, feel free to go ahead and ask the question. So I'm going to hit the escape button here and get out of my PowerPoint. Well, wait, I can do this. There. And now I'm going to minimize this. And do you see my desktop?
Beautiful.
Yes.
And this is the um, background wallpaper that Google provides ever so often, because I think I'm linked into a program that keeps the wallpaper changing, very similar to what you find in Microsoft. But here, if you notice at the bottom, you'll see something that looks like a taskbar in Windows, but actually in a Chromebook, it's referred to as a shelf. And of course, like in Windows, I can pin applications that I frequently use to the shelf. And it shows both the ones I have pinned and also the ones that are currently running, such as you see Zoom here. And it's designated because it has a little dot at the bottom, very similar to Windows, that it is running in the background. The same thing for Microsoft Edge, and the same thing for Microsoft Chrome. And as you notice to the left, I have, you see a little icon that says Desk One. Well, like in Microsoft Windows, I can have multiple desktops. And for instance, right now I have a desktop one, which is the one we're looking at. But should I want to have another one, I can hit the plus sign here, and it will give me another desktop. So that is very familiar with how we use Windows today. So there's nothing really too new about that, or nothing that's really confusing. Now, in place of our start button, remember I told you earlier there's a lunch button. Well, our lunch button looks like a button. It's called the launcher. So when I click on this, I get something that looks like a Windows Start menu. And it is even segmented very similar to Windows. At the very top, you'll find I can search for my tabs, my files, my apps, and more. And here I have a little icon for my Google Assistant, which is, if you're familiar with Google Assistant, is their voice assistant that allows you to ask anything to turn on lights and so forth. And then below here is my frequently used apps. So as you say, continue where I left off, because I've used PowerPoint, I've used OneDrive, I've used Docs, I've used Zoom, or I'm currently using Zoom, and of course the Play Store. And then below that, you see all the apps that are currently installed on my Chromebook, or I shouldn't say installed on my Chromebook, all the apps that I have access to, because these are all stored in the cloud. So once I leave my that part, I think that's really easy to understand. That if you want to launch any of these, you just click on them, um, they will appear. Now, I would say this, I forgot to mention this, is that you can tell the ones that are actually um, from the Android store because they have this white circle behind them. They are not a native Chrome OS application, as opposed to Zoom. As you see, it's a full icon without a white border around it. Uh, as you see, the Play Store, it's not a native Chrome OS um, application. Where the ones that are full, such as Adobe Acrobat, that's a app that's supported by the Chrome OS. So there's a number that you can tell from that. Okay, so as we go to the right of our icons that we have at the on our shelf, and I might add that, like Windows, you can right click on these and you get open, unpin, uninstall, and you get app information. Right click is your friend, as it is in most operating systems. Now, on this particular Chromebook, starting from um, left to right, this one particular one has a pin, so that's what that icon represents. But like in Windows, I can also link my phone. So I have a phone hub, which I can go here, and as you can see, it's connected to my Samsung phone. It's giving information about my phone. The little gear here represents settings, where for the connected device. I can use my phone as a hotspot if I need to. I can silence, I can locate. And then it also shows some of the recent things that I've done on my phone, which can have access to. And that's very similar to the phone link that you'll find in Windows. The next tab here is um, allows me to be able to share um, information. As it says here, I'm sharing my screen. Um, it's also giving me information about my camera and microphone that's being in use. I have notifications. Uh, um, here's a text message that I've received from my cousin, which I could answer that by just tapping on it um, and put a reply here. And then, of course, any things that have occurred in Facebook. It's telling me about notifications. So what this really represents is notifications that you have in Windows. And of course, here is my calendar. And if I tap on a date, I can open the Google Calendar and do an entry. And then here is the what in Windows is called the Action Center, and it's very similar to the in Chrome. It's very similar. It shows you the network that I'm connected to. I can do a screen capture. I can do not disturb. It has all the things that you've seen in Windows, as well as I can adjust my speaker. I can adjust the brightness. This is my power button. It's showing what my battery status is, so forth. In using a application in Chrome, it's really no different. So, say for instance, if I wanted to bring up a Word document. Now, the Word document I'm using is the one that is available from Word Online. So I have a Office 365 account. So it allows me to bring up a Word document. So I'm just going to open a new blank document. And you'll notice that it looks very familiar, like um, the current version of Word. The only difference is that when I save this document, it's going to go to OneDrive, because OneDrive is the default storage location for Microsoft Office. And of course, I have the designer features where I can select a particular design if I want to use that. If you notice too, is that the interface on Word Online is no different from the standard PC version of Word. It's virtually identical. And when I get ready to save it, I just go to File Save, and then of course I now have um, the options of how I want to save it. I can do share. I can do a save as. I can export, print, so forth. Here's all the files. I'm sorry. Here's all the documents that I have used um, in the past. Now, I use Office 365, so that gives me a certain advantage because as a result, I have access to all my documents on any computer that I use. Just by virtue, I save everything to the cloud. So therefore, it doesn't matter if I'm using my Chromebook, I'm using my Windows 10 computer, my Windows 11 computer, my Mac uh, uh, laptop, or my phone. I have access to all my documents at any time, at any place. And that's something I really like and I use on a daily basis. So I'm never tied down to any particular uh, device. I am not tied down to a desktop. If I want to be out on the patio and working on a presentation such as one tonight, I can do so out there or any other place. It doesn't matter. If I get a idea in the middle of the night and I happen to wake up and I want to kind of make a note of it, I can just reach for my cell phone, bring up a Word document, make any kind of a rough outline, and then set that down. And then the next morning or throughout the day, whenever I think about it, I can go to any device and flesh that out. Uh, for me, that is what I call convenience. Um, if I want to use Google Docs, which comes with Chrome, I can bring that up. And of course, here I have the same interface that you would find on your PC. And I can start a new document. And here again, because this is also stored in the cloud. You can access this readily any place at any time. So there's really little disadvantages of using a Chromebook that I found. Now, I also have access to Google Photos that that I use, and these are the same on all my other devices because I'm signed into my Google account. I have they're synced between my smartphone and my Chromebook, my PCs, etc. I also have for email, I have a Gmail. I also use the web version of Yahoo Mail, and I have Edge, which is the same, which I'm able to access the same content on the one on my Chromebook as the one I am on my PC. So at this point, unless I'm, let me go back and see. Oh, let me go back to my PowerPoint presentation just briefly because there are some things that I need to tell you. So as I told you, we're running everything in a browser. So as you notice at the top, I have, these are tabs, and this is how I access the various um, programs I want. So as you notice, I came from my desktop, I opened up the browser, and here's my Chrome presentation. Also, if you notice that I had opened up these documents, Word, and Google Docs, and they have showed up as a tab. So I can just close those by just clicking on the X, and that'll take care of those. And we'll go back. I'm going to kind of skip through. One of the things I wanted to, I'm going to skip over this part of it, but I want to talk about a few things that I think are important because the information I have here really has become obsolete based on some of the more recent updates that have occurred with Chromebooks. And here I was trying to create a link between my laptop, my PC, my Windows PCs and Chromebook, and that's really has become no longer necessary to do. But what I want to tell you is that there are some things that you really need to know about Chromebooks in terms of when you get ready to buy one. Um, all right, first of all, we talked about security, and I did want to mention single layer and multi layer solutions. And what that means is that a single layer architecture implies, let me make that. Single layer architecture implies putting all of the required components for a software application, the back end and front end, on just one server. Well, one of the things that is important to realize, particularly if you are skeptical about using the cloud for storing your data and how secure it is, and whether or not it's safe, and what if something happens. Well, having all your resources on the same machine can create an availability and security risk. So if a server is down, the application will be down and it will not communicate with the database. If the server is externally attacked, you are at a greater risk of data loss if you do not have a replica of your database. So the Google Chrome solution solves this problem by splitting data access across more than one server, or what they refer to as a multi-layer solution. So having all your resources spread into different servers or service boost boost your deployment performance. And in additional to this, having different layers for different resources implies adding an extra security layer by separating data from code. In those applications that include replication, the database can be replicated across more than one server, which prevents the loss of data in case of a cluster failure. So, what I like about it is that Chrome controls the Chromebook ecosystem using a multi tier solution. It keeps a tight grip on security and frequently updates its code base to stay a step ahead of the hackers. For battery life, Chromebooks are greater for people who go and who spend the day away from their AC outlet, typically 8 to 9 hours. You get quick startup time, which is great for stop and go computing. Size and weight with the lower hardware requirement, the typical Chromebook weighs ounces lighter by a few tenths of an inch thinner than most comparable PCs. Although the newer PCs are getting thinner and lighter, but I still think if you pick up a Chromebook as a compared to a similar PC, the Chromebook will be lighter. And of course, the recycling part about Chromebooks is that they have a feature called Power Watch, which in a few minutes you can wipe clean all your files and bring it back the way it was when it left the factory. And that's a great way of being able to, if your Chromebook just starts acting poorly, you can immediately power wash it and it will bring it back to factory new. And you don't have to really worry about your data or docs because they're cloud on this, they're stored on the cloud. So as soon as you sign in with your Google account, all your data, all your settings, everything comes back. Um, so, what I say, living on the bleeding edge, switch between stable, beta, or development software. One of the things of Chromebooks that you can use the three different channels. One is a stable channel, which is fully tested by the Chrome OS system, and it's best choice for avoiding crashes and other problems. It's updated roughly every 2 to 3 weeks for minor changes and every 6 weeks for major changes. The beta channel, you can view upcoming changes and improvements with low risk. It's updated roughly every week, with major updates coming every 6 weeks. And then, if you really want to be on the bleeding edge, you can be a part of the development channel, which gets updated once or twice a week. Of course, like it will be mostly beta software and may have bugs, but if you want to see what's the latest, then this is where you want to be. Um, so, if things really go wrong, which really happens, I think. So if you find the Chromebook runs really slow, your best bet is just restart and see if the performance issue is cleared. If your Chromebook keeps restarting, that means there's a serious error that's in the OS. And the best way, of course, is using Power Wash to recover that. If you happen to be updating your Chromebook and you receive an error, you can resolve it by checking your internet connection. you always want to have a pretty strong Wi-Fi connection or Ethernet connection, because remember the whole device is based on the internet. It doesn't really have any files or the OS stored locally on the box. And if you download an important update and it doesn't work, you might try doing it again, and then, of course, during the reboot. If you can't sign into your Chromebook without getting errors, there are many different error messages you can get when signing into the Chromebook. But rather going through each one of them, I suggest that you use the Google Handy Walkthrough with dealing with those errors. In other words, just put in the error in the Google browser and it'll give you an answer. Printing is not a problem. You can connect with most printers without a problem using Wi-Fi or wired connection. But some Bluetooths do not support Bluetooth printing. But you can connect your printer to your Chromebook using a USB cable. When you use that cable, a notification appears, follow the on-screen instructions. When your printer is connected to your Chromebook, it doesn't need to be connected to Wi-Fi. For the Bluetooth issue, you need to keep in mind that not all Chromebooks have Bluetooth. So you want to check that in the specifications if that's something you want to use. If it is available, the icon will appear on the pop-up menu when you connect the system clock. Remember, I showed you that earlier. So a blue icon means Bluetooth component is enabled, while a gray one shows it's disabled. And another thing, Word docs on your Chromebook. If you recently switched to a Chromebook and you're having trouble accessing your old documents, there are several workarounds. The first one is to use Google Docs, because a Word document can be read by Google Docs. Another option is to add the Microsoft Office extension to Chrome. This extension functions just as it does in your Windows desktop, so you'll feel really comfortable with that. One of the things about Microsoft Office is that now the interfaces is the same across all devices. It doesn't matter whether you're using on your phone or you're using a tablet, the interface is exactly the same. There's no difference in how you use it. One of the things that you need to be cautious of is that, particularly if you're buying a used Chromebook, is that Chromebooks do have what's called end of life. And this comes, as this says, there comes a time in your Chromebook's life when it no longer receives updates from Google. It's inevitable and could be a lot sooner than you think. So here's how you see whether your Chromebook schedule end of life date. So you have to go to additional details and setting, and then scroll down to where it says update schedule. And then it will tell you that this device will get automatic software and security updates until a certain date. Now, Google came out recently with a change to that. And so some Chromebooks have been extended by a couple years, and I can't remember all the details about what that is. But if you get one that has been built since 2020, then you have an extension, and I may be wrong about that date, but it's been extended. But the crucial thing is to remember go and look about the date. And it's not the date that you purchase it, it's the date of the device manufacturer. Um, so that might be indicated on the box, uh, the date of manufacture, but that will be the date at which the cutoff is based on, not the date that you purchased it, but rather the date that the device was manufactured. Um, but Google has a guaranteed minimum 6.5 years of updates after the product's original release date. So just keep that in mind. So, what my final thoughts are, what I love about about the Chrome OS, it makes a great use of Google services because there's next to no learning curve. Everyone can pick up a Chromebook, immediately use it because the similarity is using the Chrome browser. However, simplicity of the OS may be its biggest weaknesses. Uh, you can work comfortably on a Chromebook without leaning on Windows PC for support. However, this does not mean that others with more intense graphic and design, gaming, or web development may not be able to pull off the switch. So, if you're looking for a device larger than a phone or a tablet to browse the web, access email, communicate with Skype or Zoom or other basic computer functions, you'll love a Chromebook. Chromebooks are available in various sizes and price points. Most major manufacturers, such as Dell, HP, Asus, have models to fit any budget. Some are powered by Intel i-series processors rather than ARM for those who have a need for more robust experience. Chromebooks are affordable for people with limited resources, um, and it's evolving as the ultimate minimalist computer, in my opinion. So it's a perfect fit for the light, novice, or Google dependent PC user. Instead of being bogged down by a typical computer hardware, the Google Chromebook paves its own lane in the laptop market, taking on well beloved features of the Mac and Windows users value most. The Chromebook is a futuristic innovation for the digital age. Uh, in my opinion, is the ultimate alternate computer. So some of the resources I used for this was how to use a Chromebook, tips and how-tos, the best Chromebook available now, the best Chromebook games. Should I buy a Chromebook? Buying guide and advice. Chromebooks versus Windows 10 laptops. What should you buy? Chromebooks versus tablet. What should you buy? The best Chromebook tips and tricks. So with that, I've concluded my presentation and I welcome any questions anyone may have.
Bill, that was a marvelous presentation, and I'm sure there are questions. All we need to do is get back to the screen so that we can find the people who've raised their hands. And there's one from Steve Parker.
I'll stop my share right here. All right.
Okay. Well, the shelf that you mentioned with the programs pinned to it, is there a key combination to access those like there is on the Windows PC with the window and the number keys?
No, no, there's not. I know what you're speaking of. That when you put them in,
is it the alt and the number? Does that work?
I don't. I'm not aware that it does.
On your thing, does alt and then one work?
Yes, I don't believe it does.
No. Okay.
That's a good question. And I'm saying that just off the top of my head. I really should try to see if it does, but I don't believe it does. I haven't read anything that it does work like that. But you can do everything else on the shelf like you can move the icons and place them in any combination that you want. There's no problem with that.
And do they make a Chromebook with an AMD processor instead of an Intel?
No, the only processor, the other processor would be an ARM, ARM, which are I don't know who manufactures those, but they come in ARM and Intel, but I am not aware of an AMD version.
Yeah, the ARMs typically come from Asia countries, and they similar to the way the Chromebook can run Android apps. ARMs are typically used in Android cell phones. Amazon uses them in their Fire Sticks if you have one of those. They run on ARM processors.
Dave, do you have a question?
Sure. Bill, I disagree with your comments about Chromebook for light users. I use my Chromebook so many hard ways, except for programming and first action games. Everything's on the web. All the applications on the web. TurboTax, everything's on the web. So I disagree with your
And I
opinion using
and
for light applications.
I take that. I totally agree with you, but I think there. But because I find I haven't found anything that I can't do on it. It's just a matter of um, of getting used to some of the. Of course, all things have quirks. It's like I've been using a Mac, trying to learn how to use a Mac. Of course, it works operates differently from my PC. But yes, I totally agree with you. That's something I should probably strike out of my presentation.
Thank you very much. How about Bill Crow? Bill Crow has a question for you, Bill.
Yeah, Bill James, what would you say the average prices are? Let's say minimum to middle priced.
Well, going off of Drew King's presentation last night, you can get them anywhere from I'd say $200 to $1,000, really. The lower end ones will probably be ARM processors, but it all depends on what you're going to be doing with it. If you're going to be doing a lot of heavyweight work, then you probably want to get a more robust processor. But the ARM processor ones will probably be in the $200 range, where
Okay.
the Intel fives will be in the $1,000 range. Also, the graphics display is another issue. It's like the one that I have has an OLED display, but it's a feature of Samsung. Samsung likes to put their very best displays on their PCs. So that would be one of the things that you might want to look at. But that's not something that would be necessary to browse the web, uh, do anything else you want to do.
So for doing word processing and spreadsheet work, presentation work, probably a $200 to $300 machine would do it for me.
I would think so. My issue was I was thinking that I would be using this for like Zoom presentations,
Yeah.
and with that in mind, I thought I might need a more robust processor as well as a better display. So I just opted for the more costly machine.
But you could do Zoom on
Yeah,
it.
you could.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Bill. And Drew has a question.
Yes, I have a couple of questions. I just realized during your presentation.
What happened?
We lost you. Drew disappeared.
Yeah, we lost him. I'm sure he'll come back.
Yeah, here I am. I'm back.
Okay.
I'm having bandwidth issues on my Chromebook.
When your dog
My
chewing through the
question,
table.
yeah, she ate my sub today for lunch. But anyway, my question is, I pay Microsoft for a small amount of OneDrive storage, and I get to use in exchange the Office web apps online. If I go into the I guess it would be the Chrome web store versus the Play Store, and I can get the Microsoft Office, Word, PowerPoint, Excel web apps.
Yes, those web apps are available in the Android store.
They're in the Android store, not in
But you
the
can
Chrome.
actually, you really don't even have to do that. You can just go to your browser and you can download them directly from the web.
Okay,
But yeah,
and
using the web apps, and there all of them are there. You have PowerPoint, you have Word, you have Excel, and Outlook.
and that brings up my next question: is you have email on? You have a Gmail account. You have a Microsoft account. You have, I think, you mentioned a Yahoo account. Um, do you use a single email app on your Chromebook, either Gmail
Yes,
or Outlook?
I'm using Yahoo Mail, and Yahoo Mail allows me to have my Google email. I have a APCUG. I have my personal one, plus another one I can't remember. I don't ever use, but they're all. I just import them all, and I just use that single application, and it's just the AT&T Yahoo app. It looks like a
Okay, so
world.
okay, so you're not using like Microsoft Outlook like you would on Windows.
No, I've never used Outlook, and that's just me. I used it at work, but I never used it at home, and so I've never really been comfortable. I'm not familiar with Outlook at all. I'm a very poor. Um, 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 if people ask me how to use Outlook, I couldn't tell them because I've never understood the
Right,
product.
right, right,
But
right.
so I use the web base. I use Google Mail. I use Gmail. I use the Windows Mail application on my Windows PCs. And there again,
Okay,
I have them all brought into one application. I have my APCUG email. I have my Yahoo, or well, my Yahoo actually is SBC Global, and I just bring them all in the same app. And also my Chromebook, I'm using just the Yahoo app.
the Yahoo app. Thank you.
The
And
Yahoo.
with regard to the hardware, regarding like your question you had, Bill, um, the really low end Chromebooks will typically have the ARM processor, and they will also typically have either 32 or 64 gigs of storage in a form factor that is basically soldered onto the motherboard. And if you do want to be able to do a little bit more with your for I don't know what the break point is, whether it's $300 or $400. You can look for a Chromebook that has a new style SSD hard drive in it. So maybe it comes with a 128 gig SSD drive, or like Bill has and I have a 256 gig drive. Chances are that Chromebook might have the option, like mine does, to actually upgrade your hard drive. So I just purchased a 1 terabyte drive for my Chromebook, and thanks to my SSD, not the soldered on hard drive, I can replace the 256 with a 1 terabyte. Um, so if you're shopping around for hardware, one thing I highly recommend is getting a backlit keyboard. Spend the extra $100 to get a backlit keyboard and a touchscreen.
I would,
Um,
I would agree with you on very much. That the backlit is really a good feature. Particularly, my Chromebook is silver in color, and without the backlit keys, I can't see the characters on the keyboard. So
yeah,
the
mine
back
is the same way.
definitely helps.
Bill, we
Um,
have two more questions.
Does it
okay.
light up the letters
Quick.
or does it light up the keys?
I have one more.
Yeah, Bill Chandler has one and Bill Crow has one. Can we let Chandler go first?
Of course.
Chandler, you have a question?
Yes. Um, can you create a Chrome OS on VirtualBox or VMware?
Mm. I've tried and
Um,
tried and tried, and I've failed every time.
believe it or not, on my Chromebook, I actually have a VM software on here. I've never used it, and I'm not sure how I got it. Hold on, I'm going to just make sure that I'll tell you what I have.
Um, uh,
Um,
Drew, we're not getting you.
operating system called Chrome OS Flex, and that's available to install on a PC, but it won't install.
We're having trouble understanding Drew. What he's saying is uh,
Sorry,
the Google Flex,
I'm having
the Chrome Flex. The only disadvantage of using that is the fact that you can't use Android apps with it, but you can run it on a PC.
right.
And I have a PC that I have it on there, and I do update it. But again, it does not run the Android apps.
Yeah, and I've tried a lot, really hard to get a Chrome OS virtual machine in VirtualBox and in VMware, and it doesn't. I can't get it to work. Google has just whatever they did. They don't want you doing it.
yeah, I can. I don't know. I thought it was on this PC, but it must. But I am. I will tell you, I am running any disk on this computer.
Yes, any desk will work. However, you cannot run virtual machine software like VirtualBox on a Chromebook.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about getting a Chromebook to run VMware or VirtualBox, no, I tried and it doesn't let you do it.
Okay, we've got one last question, and it's for Bill. Bill Crow.
You said that we could put Microsoft Office Suite on a Chromebook at no charge. Is that what you were saying, implying? And
Yes.
be able to edit documents?
Yes. It's Office Online.
I
You
know
can
that
use it's free, and
it's
you can
free,
use
but can you edit documents with it? You can
you can
go
edit,
view documents, but
you
can
can
you
edit,
edit?
you can edit and write documents. The
So it's
only difference that you is that when you save the document, it saves to OneDrive.
well, but so I
But
can get a full function Windows at no charge. Is that what that's what I'm hearing? I'm sorry,
that
function
that is
Office.
that's a true statement. You can get Office, which will
That's on
be
a Chromebook only, or is that on other places as well?
you can get it on your
Oh,
PC. You can use Office Online on your PC for free as well.
You can use it, but you can't edit with it, I thought.
Yes, you
yeah,
can.
yes you can. Yes you can. Yes you can.
You can edit it. The
If you
only
have
difference about when you save it, it saves to OneDrive. You'll have to download it.
I understand that. So I don't need to pay the annual rental fee or whatever.
No, you
um,
do not.
Okay.
Just all you need is to
my,
have your Microsoft account.
yeah, my
Sign
understanding is that
into
if you don't pay them, they're going to start doing advertising. Uh,
Okay. All
I
well,
right.
that
think
has
I wasn't
that
aware
has
of that. That's a
a
good thing
free
to know.
one.
that has not happened yet. But you can use
No.
it's
Okay.
only those four products now, Bill. It's Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and Outlook.
That's the big one
Yeah.
for most of
And
us.
actually,
You can
I
get.
can, and if you get a Chromebook, Bill, I can show you how to run Thunderbird and LibreOffice. The same one.
There you go. Hey, well, at this point, we have to say thank you so much to Bill James. You've been wonderful tonight. Thank you for
Well, thank
answering
you
all
so
our
much.
questions. We really appreciate it.
Well,
And
thank you
we have,
so much. It was a pleasure.
well, our pleasure that you were here. Thank you.